Welcome class, and today you're back in Education by Spencer. We're learning about the business plan, and today we're going to focus on communication. Alright, let's just get right into it. Communication, process by which information is exchanged between individuals. Now, how many of y'all think that the manager or the teacher don't do anything? They just sit on their butts all day long. Well, you might have a perception, but honestly, a manager or a teacher or anyone like that in that type of situation, they are spending 50 to 90% of the manager's time is being spent communicating. Think about me as a teacher. I spend most of my time during the day facilitating and communicating instructions, directions, giving feedback, going over misconceptions. All right. Now, poor communication costs money and is a waste of time, which actually amounts on an average of 14% of the work week is wasted on miscommunication. Same thing in the classroom. If I give bad instructions on how to do an assignment, I have to go back and reiterate those instructions to make sure they're effective. Same thing with a supervisor. The supervisor gives you a job duty or a job title to do, but does not give you the right or the correct or even the sufficient amount of communication that you need, then that supervisor or manager has to go back and reiterate or recommunicate what they're trying to do to make sure that it's effective. Okay, let's go to the next slide, please. Frequent communication is related to better job performance ratings and organizational performance. Now, how many of you guys are athletes or play an extracurricular activity or anything of that nature? I want to take you onto the football field or onto the basketball court, track, whatever it might be, as long as this is a team sport. Think about this. You're in the hub. Coach calls a play, but the captain screws up the play. Coach calls a run up the middle, and the quarterback decides to call a pass. Miscommunication is not on the coach, but it's on the quarterback. Quarterback drops back, throw the ball 40 yards in the air, intercept it. It ended up because of poor communication skills on behalf of just one player, which was the quarterback. It caused a turnover for the whole team. Now you got to think about that when we apply that to business. If one person has bad communications when we're trying to work as a team, it could affect the whole team. Okay? It could affect our performance and it could affect our individual performance. Maybe if that quarterback would have called that running play, that running back could have ran the ball for 50 yards. Better individual performance. The team would have got a better overall performance because they would have moved the ball 50 yards instead of getting a turnover. Just want to give you that illustration to help you understand better about the frequent communication and how it's related to better job performance and better individual performance ratings. Okay, let's go to the next slide, please. Hey, one-way versus two-way communication. All right, let me give you a couple of characteristics of one-way communication, and then we'll go to two-way communications, okay? One-way communication. Our characteristics or our variables will be accuracy, time, the receiver, which is the listener, and the sender, which is the speaker. When we deal with one-way communication, it's usually less accurate than two-way communication. It's faster to install or to implement one-way communication than it is two-way communication. Now, when it deals with the receiver, the listener, when we're dealing with one-way communication, they are oftentimes dealing with confusion, frustration, feel insecure, and have a lack of confidence based on how the information is being received. When we go to two-way communication, the receiver is more confident, more secure, better identified with what is being said. Meaning that when you have a two-way communication, the point that you're trying to get across is received much better than one-way communication. The last thing is the sender. With one-way communication, there's no criticism. It's nothing. The sender's insulated. He's blocked or she is blocked from all criticism. What they say in that message or that form of communication is what goes. There's no criticism, there's no feedback. Now, when we deal with two-way communication, there is criticism. The sender is opened up to have to respond back to the receiver to better clarify themselves for accuracy with the delivery of the communication. Let me give you an example of one-way communication and how it can affect two-way communication, and two-way communication can also resolve any problems with one-way communication. I have a student, imaginary student. Her name is Shonda, let's say Shonda Johnson. I sent Shonda Johnson a progress report home stating that she was failing my class. Now, that one-way communication form stated what she was failing and why she was failing, and there was no more explanation by me. It was simply a uniform letter sent to her parent. Now let's go to what can result from that type of one-way communication. A parent thinking that the child is failing the class. Okay, here go to two-way communication. Class, hold up for a second. Let me get the phone. Hello, Mr. Spencer class. This is Miss Johnson. I'm calling you about Shonda. I'm her mother, and I want to know why my daughter is flunking your class. Oh, hold on, Miss Johnson. Sorry about that. Why am I getting this phone call? Why are you saying that she is failing the class? I received a letter in the mail, her progress report, and she's failing your class. And I need to know what's going on. Well, Ms. Johnson, I thank you for calling me. Most parents don't even give me the call back. I apologize for any miscommunication. Shonda is a great student. It's just that I feel like she's not reaching her full potential in my class. She's being less responsive. She's not participating. She's no longer being engaged in the collaborative activities that we're having. And I'm catching a little bit of attitude from Shonda as well. I'm having to tell her things more than one time. What? Shonda doing that? You know, I've been having the same problem at the house. I don't know what's wrong with that girl. I'm gonna talk to her when I get to the house because I ain't raised my daughter to be like this. Ms. Johnson, I believe you. I really do. I assumed that based off the previous times we met. But I was calling you to just figure out, I'm glad you called me. I was sending the progress letter to see if we could resolve the situation before report cards come out. I know Shonda needs a good grade in this class to keep her average up. So whatever you could do on your end to help me out to get those grades up, I would appreciate it. And I'll tell you one other thing. Whatever assignments that she hasn't turned in, I will give her extra time to get it in if you're willing to work with me. Oh, okay, Mr. Spencer. I'm glad you cleared that up. I sure will have Shonda to get on that at work, and I bet you she'll have it in by the end of the week. And if she don't, I'm going to have my sides. Now, Mama Johnson, you know we can't have no balance over the phone. But I thank you for your time, and I look forward to getting some feedback from you, and I will definitely let you know when her grade is back up above passing. Thank you, Mr. Spencer. You have a great day. Thank you, Ms. Johnson. You do too. Yeah, that's a way of two-way communication. Did you see how the sender had to respond to criticism? Did you see how it took longer to establish the accuracy? And did you also see that the receiver went from being confused and having a lack of confidence to being more confident, having more faith in what I was trying to do with my message being sent home? Sometimes, all the time, two-way communication is the best. Now, one quick thing I want to ask you is, what do you think is the number one form of communication in today's business world? Give you 3 seconds. Yep, if you said text messages or emails, you were right. And you got to understand, when you email, you're dealing with writing communications. You want to make sure that you express yourself clearly, accurate, and that the receiver gets the message that you're trying to get across effectively. Okay, let's go to the next slide. Nonverbal communication. It is what you don't say. All right, this is like one of my favorite math problems that does not equal up to 100%. 55% of impersonal communication comes from nonverbal cues like facial expressions, body stance, tone of voice. And the craziest thing, because most people always assume that you're paying total attention to what they're saying, the words that are actually coming out their mouth. But to be honest with you, 7% of a receiver's comprehension of a message is based on the actual words that come out your mouth. So you're talking 100 miles an hour. That person that's listening to you are only getting 7% of the words coming out your mouth. They're too busy looking at your hands, your facial expressions, your stance, or even your tone of voice. And you have to take all of that into consideration when you're communicating in front of a group of people. Now, one of the biggest things that'll get you is 38% is based on paralanguage or the tone, the pace, and the volume of your speech. What do I mean by that? I'll give you one quick example. Let's use Tariq, imaginary student. Tariq is having some behavioral problems in class, and I am going to give you two examples of how I would handle it using these type of nonverbal communication. First of all, you'll see an extreme, and then the second example will be more of a less extreme. Tariq, get your butt back in your seat. Leave that little girl alone. She don't want to talk to you. Sit down. I'm going to call your mother. I'm tired of you walking in and out of my class. Why are you late? Do y'all think Tariq did anything that I asked? First of all, I gave 34 different directions in 3 sentences. Second of all, I was very loud. All Tariq did was have a deer in the headlight look in his eyes. He froze up. He did not move to his seat. He did stop playing with the girl, but he did not correct the behavior the way I wanted him to correct it, or in a timely manner. All he did was freeze up and try to comprehend what was coming out of my mouth, but he was too busy looking at my nonverbal expressions. Now, let's try that again. Tariq, sit down in your seat. Leave that little girl alone. She don't want to play with you. She don't even like you. Please sit back down in your seat and do not walk in and out of my classroom anymore. And if I have to tell you again, then we will have to deal with this a different way. Is that all right, Mr. Tariq? Now, which way do you think was more effective dealing with a student having a behavior issue? I'm going to tell you based off of my experience, controlling my tone, controlling my pace, and watching my body language has been more effective as a tool of communicating than ever yelling or loud talking or trying to be dominant in a conversation to think that I would win or get my point across. I'd like to thank y'all, and I hope that y'all take what I said today to heart, and I hope that you use it cognitively every day in your life. Thank you, and I look forward to seeing you at the next class session. Thank you.